Namaste, hello everyone. I wanted to do a little update on what's happening with the Trump saga. Things are not over yet. Apparently 68 electors have signed on to an open letter demanding an intelligent briefing on Trump's ties to Russia before the Monday vote. Now, I don't know about you, but they just had a thing on TV where they have these Russian artists that are now painting portraits of Trump. Now, which American president have Russian artists ever wanted to paint portraits of to put next to Putin? Okay, only Trump. You know, not only has he not disclosed his taxes, which he refuses to do, not only has he not had that briefing where he was going to say how he was not going to have ties to his business, he said he has his kids running the business, and they're coming to all the briefings, to all the meetings. This is, you know, he absolutely 100%, you know, he wants to talk about Hillary, her pay for play. He is there to do nothing more than to sell out the United States to the highest bidder. Okay, to line him and his cronies' pocketbooks. So if the people think that he is for the worker, the American worker, think again. Never, never, never going to happen. If he were for the American worker, he wouldn't be yet again bringing in, I think it was, 64 or something, more people in from out of the country to work yet again at one of his places. Okay? He's continuing that practice. He says, oh, work in America, hire American workers, except for when it comes to him. He's in the process, yet again, of bringing in workers from out of the country. So if you think that he's going to honor all this rhetoric he's throwing out, never, never, never going to happen. So those people that are getting a hold of the electors, think about what you're doing. They're doing death threats. This is terrible to do death threats, you know, and the electors absolutely have to vote their conscience. You know, 100% they should vote their conscience. I don't care what Trump says. He lies through his teeth. Hillary won the popular vote by a landslide, by almost the most in history, except for one other president. I think it was Obama, right? Had gotten more popular vote than she did. Okay? So for him to sit there and say, oh no, he also got the popular vote by a landslide, except for all those, you know, illegal ones that were voting. Right. So that cancels that out. So he got it by a landslide. This man has no grip on reality. He continues to spin this story that he wants to believe has no basis in reality. He does the same thing. He says one thing to the public and does something behind the back. Always. Okay? And he thinks he can continue to do this, but if he becomes president, at that point, people, you're screwed. Because the only way out at that point is to get him impeached. And when you got Republicans running the House and the Senate, that's going to be very difficult to have enough that would impeach him. But he is doing already geared towards impeachable offenses. Okay? People are going to the Trump hotels. He's got Trump hotels that was, I forget which country it was in, and they were threatening to take the Trump name down. if X, Y, and Z didn't happen. I mean, it's, again, already conflict of interests are all over the place, rising their ugly heads. Okay? He's still building hotels in other countries, still, managing all of that. He's not going to stop managing his reality TV show, still wants to do that, doesn't want to give press reports. He'd rather tweet and put out his version of the truth, the Trump truth, which is not truth at all. It's the convenient lie of the moment, okay? The convenient story of the moment that he wants you to believe, okay? This is the only president in history that wants to silence the press, okay? Fascism. If you don't see the fascist nature of this man, you need to look in history at fascism, how it rises. Look at the people he's got in power. What, all these generals? What's he going to try to make a coup of the government? I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. Okay, this man is a 100% snake. Okay, and people need to wake up while they still have a chance to wake up. So we hope to God that these electors get this briefing that they've asked for about his ties to Russia. You know, this idea that he puts in somebody in for the, what was it they called, the EPA, or the one for the Environmental Protection Agency, that wants nothing to do with environmental protection. He has a son that's into, this going around and killing these animals, and he gets the guy that's promoting that. I mean, for God's sakes, do you not see the writing on the walls, what this man is doing? Okay? Unbelievable. Again, he wanted to rail against her because she had, a foundation, and people had given donations and called it pay for play. Hey, again, this is so beyond anything that the Clintons could ever have done. I'm telling you, this man has got the U.S. for sale to the highest bidder. 100% has got it to sale for the highest bidder. What has he said? We can't compete. Let's, let the various states figure out wages. We'll bring, we'll bring jobs in here, but you got to understand, we can't pay those wages. He wants to get iPhones made in this country. If they paid the wages, the workers' wages, if the phone would cost, what did they say, $1,300? Nobody's going to pay $1,300 for the phone. They all went to visit Trump because they know they got to play along with him, or else he's going to screw them business-wise. Okay? But they said it was useless. They have no intention of bringing those jobs here because they can't pay what's needed, a living wage to people, in order to compete. So people really need to look at what's happening, who and what he is. He doesn't want a presidency, he wants a dynasty. Okay? And he's continuing to run his rallies, continuing to crank up as many people as he can to get his kudos, and he's not going to stop any of that. He rails against private people. What did he do against the union worker? Well, if you guys actually worked, unbelievable, unbelievable, and people turn a blind eye. You can't turn a blind eye anymore. You need to wake up and see what's happening to this country. The last thing you need in here is the alt-right and a fascist government, a Trump dynasty, okay? He wants his whole family to run it. Like I said, you know, his wife, Melania, is not going to slum in the White House. Now it's going to be, it's not the first office of the first lady. Now it's the first daughter. The first daughter is going to run it, because Melania can't be bothered from, you know, giving up her hair and nail appointments. That's just, you know, wanting too much. So he'll have his daughter do Melania's first, you know, because no. You know, I'm not going to slum in the White House. I'm not giving up my 24-karat gold-coated furniture. Okay? And little Barron, what would he do in the White House? I mean, in Trump Towers, he's got a whole floor to himself and runs the people there ragged. Already, at his age, tells them, you need to sit down, we need to have a talk. Okay? A little dictator. Fabulous. So again, think about what is coming in and be supportive of the Electoral College. It's a very slim shot that we have that he can be taken out of office. He will not get in office, but let us pray, you know, if that happens by some miracle, that the U.S. is saved from this travesty that's in the process of taking place. Because even if he, you know, if he gets in office, he's going to have, I think, a difficult time getting some of the people confirmed, and he'll scream bloody murder about it. But unfortunately, once they get confirmed and in there and start ruining the government and our economy and everything that goes with it, you can't get them out, okay? Even if Trump got impeached, you'd still have the next Republican, and you'd have all that same staff in place for the next 4 years, okay? So again, this is not a joke. This is something that needs to be looked at seriously, and for God's sakes, you know, let us hope that a miracle happens and that these 65 electors get the briefing that they're needing and asking for and see the light of day and stand for truth. Okay? And again, it's terrible that they are receiving death threats at this time, and I think we're getting death threats from both sides. What a horrible position for these people to be in. But let's hope that they all do the right thing for the country and see the writing on the wall and stand for truth, and don't let this fascist dynasty come into power, because they will ruin the U.S. Okay. Namaste. Thank you.